The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, just recently extended its registration hours in order to accommodate more voter registrations nationwide. As of today, registrations open from Tuesdays to Saturdays every 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., with Mondays being closed for their weekly disinfections. The registration period will last until, take note, September 30, 2021. So dahil papalapit na naman ang 2022 elections, panahon na ng mga mahabang pila at ng pangungulit sa ating mga kababayan upang magparehistro sila. Kaya naman, ang tanong, kamusta na nga ba ang voters registration sa bansa? Ako po si Pablo Joaquin and you're watching The Breakdown. Ayon sa datos ng COMELEC, as of February 1, 2021, may naitatalang 1.3 million registrations na natanggap ang kanilang opisina. Ngunit wala pa ito sa kalahati ng 4 million registrations na target ng COMELEC for 2022, a meager 32.5% of their target. At dumadagdag pa dito ang urgency dahil 7 buwan na lamang ang natitira until the deadline, which according to spokesperson James Jimenez is highly unlikely to have an extension. Sa kasalukuyan, nag-release ang COMELEC ng 4 na pamamaraan on how to submit an application for registration. But it ultimately boils down to 2 scenarios. Either first, pupunta ka sa iyong local COMELEC office through a scheduled appointment with an already filled out voter registration form, or second, pupunta ka bilang walk-in at mag-fill out ng necessary registration forms. Ayon naman kay Attorney Mildred Ople ng The Asia Foundation, lumalabas na sa findings na isinagawa nilang time and motion study na lubos na nakakaapekto ang mga restrictions dulot ng pandemyang COVID-19. Isang halimbawa dito ay ang paghina ng kapasidad ng mga local COMELEC offices sa pagtanggap ng mga applications for voters registration. Like any other government offices, they operate in a skeletal workforce system. And aside from a staggered workforce, given the observation of health protocols and social distancing, there is also a limitation on the number of applications they can accommodate every day. May mga report din na nagsasabi na ilang mga COMELEC offices ay hindi sumusunod sa appointment scheme ng COMELEC na e-rehistro system. Instead, following a first-come, first-served basis, bagay na hindi naman daw kinukonsinte ng COMELEC. Bilang tugon sa mga nabanggit na issue, according to spokesperson James Jimenez, there's a 3-pronged strategy in order to increase the voter registration turnout. One would be through increased registration hours. Previously, the time slot was from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, office hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Second would be through increased work days. Bukas ang kanilang tanggapan mula Tuesdays to Saturdays with holidays included. At ang panghuli ay ang pag-deploy ng satellite registrations bago matapos ang buwan ng Pebrero. Sa kabila ng mga adjustments na ginagawa ng COMELEC, marami pa ring problema ang kinakaharap ng mga interesadong botante. Isa na rito ang kinakaharap ng mga senior citizens and those below the age of 21. Dahil sa IATF-EID guidelines prohibiting them from going out of home due to the risk of catching the virus, pwede at maari silang hindi makapagrehistro sa mga lugar na sumasailalim sa General Community Quarantine tulad ng Metro Manila at ng Cordillera Administrative Region. At kahit ang kakulangan ng mabisang teknolohiya ay isang malaking hadlang na din para sa kanila. Not all registrants have access to devices necessary to download and print the registration and health declaration forms, and not all of them have reliable connection to the internet to begin with. Lastly, marami ring inaccuracies sa pag-enforce ng guidelines. Halimbawa dito ay ang karanasan ng isang registrant mula sa Makati na nag-present ng unsigned application form that was accomplished using a computer. What happened next? It was rejected and the registrant was told that it had to be handwritten. Pero walang nakasaad sa mga guidelines and resolutions na kinakailangan na ang application forms ay ma-accomplish by hand. Biruin mo, ginawa mo na nga lahat, ikaw pa nagkulang? Saklap! But kidding aside, there's so much more to be done in order to make voters registration more accessible. Ngayon, silipin natin ang ilang datos na nagpapakita ng voter behavior nitong nagdaang eleksyon. Noong 2019, mula sa kabuuang 61.8 million registered voters, 46.9 million dito ang bumoto. That's 75.8% voter turnout. Additionally, more than half of all registered voters in 2019, 53.2% to be exact, came from the youth sector or ang tinatawag nating Generation Z at ang millennials. This data suggested that the youth sector, the Generation Z, and the millennials were supposedly a huge swing vote for the 2019 midterm elections. But that's what we thought. Dahil kailangan natin tandaan na may pinagkaiba ang total number of people registered and the total number of people who actually voted. In short, hindi lahat ng nakarehistro ay bumoto. At dito natin makikita na kapag voters demographic naman ang pag-uusapan, majority of the actual votes that came are from the older generation. Mga ages 45 plus make up 37.33% of the total votes sa 2019 midterm elections, whilst the youth vote only makes up for 30.48% of the turnout, ang pinakamababa na output among the other demographics. Which may answer the question kung bakit ang mga binabansagang youth bets ay hindi nanalo nung nakaraang 2019 midterm elections, kahit na may malakas silang social media presence at perceived popularity amongst the youth, especially those in educational institutions. It is mostly due to the small number of young voters as compared to those of older voters who, by the way, tend to be more conservative in voting when it comes to elections. However, trends show that majority of the youth are about to turn into legal age of voting. Isang trend na inaasahang magpapakita ng malaking pagdaloy ng mas maraming batang botante sa paparating na eleksyon sa 2022. So, meron nga bang tinatawag na block vote ang youth? Well, the data suggests possibly, but we cannot generalize the youth vote as much as like we cannot generalize other generations as well. However, given their large share of the registered voters population, the youth does have the potential and could quite possibly swing an entire election if the registered voters were translated into tangible turnout, which gives all the more reason for our generation, ang kabataan, to go out, register, and vote. Given all this, halata na kahit na hindi pa nagsisimula ang 2022 elections, the circus is already unfolding. In the meantime, one thing's for sure. Go out, get registered, and go vote for a new normal in our politics. Ako po si Pablo Joaquin, ang inyong lingkod. This was The Breakdown. Now you know.